Mutsuki girl, you can't say things like that. Mutsuki, you can't say things like that. That's gonna be everywhere. I'm already seeing it everywhere. But yes, Mutsuki's saying it's huge. I'm like, oh gosh, girl, you can't. You can't. But no, episode 10 of Blue Archive, fantastic episode, despite, yes, obviously, CGI and pretty rough animation overall. I think this is one of those cases where I'm in a glass half full kind of mentality here and go, they're probably saving it for the finale. There's got to be something really cool coming up, so they're saving all the budget for later on. Because again, this segment, I mean, it had some cool stuff in it, but it just didn't look good. It just, for me personally, didn't look good. But that aside, it was really a great episode because yes, on one end we're getting a little bit more insight into Hoshino and this black flame head person. At the same time, yes, some really, really incredible moments with Aru. The problem solvers coming in was just way too epic. I love that entry. It was so fantastic. Just her coming in there and saying, What's wrong with you guys? I looked up to you and you're all whining about something so insignificant, which is great because yes, she's problem solvers. They're bad guys. At the same time, you have, yes, her admiration for the entire foreclosure group because they're the swimsuit gang. It was great. It was a great little moment of her popping in there. Mutsuki, all those comments she made about, making a girl with glasses cry. She's very delicate. You can't say things like that. She puts the glasses on. I'm like, oh, great. Great Mutsuki and great Aru moments in this episode. I absolutely loved it. But yes, let's jump into the episode proper, opening up with the goodbye letter from Hoshino. Now, interesting enough, in the game itself, because I cross-referenced the game, because there was quite a few moments in this episode, at least the global version that we have access to, the translation was a little bit rough. In the letter itself in the game, specifically when Hoshino references Sensei, she's specifically telling Sensei to look after Shiroko. So that's odd. In the anime subtitles, it was more focused on the girls, everybody, the entire club, look after them. But it seemed like the game was more focused on please look after Shiroko, which I think is a very important thing to distinguish because it seems like up until this point, Shiroko was saved by Hoshino at some point, and that's why Shiroko was so dedicated to help Hoshino with whatever she's going through. But unfortunately, as predicted, Hoshino didn't show up today. She was going to tell everybody everything, but no, she left it to a letter. And this letter basically points out that yes, you might not know it, but I'm actually very sought after. People have been trying to recruit me. And yes, this PMC group came after me, wanted me to be recruited in return to pay off the debts. She's going to shoulder the burden. Don't worry. I'm going to sacrifice myself in order to pay off these debts. Obviously, as we see in this episode, that wasn't really the plan. The Kaiser Corporation just wanted to get access to everything, while at the same time, this Flamehead guy was working for them in order to get Hoshino. That was his side of the deal. I'm going to work with the Kaiser Corporation in order to get Hoshino. And it seems like based on the end of the episode, it's for some sort of experiment. Again, another case where I think the global translation wasn't that great. Because yes, it establishes that you're asking why we're attacking. Why not? They're nothing. They're not even a school anymore. Why wouldn't they attack? But he's pointing out specifically, I wasn't here for that. I was here for you. Like specifically, this guy was after Hoshino. And it seems like, again, it's based on some sort of experimentation that they want to do. They assisted the Kaiser Corporation. They apologized for the misunderstanding, but yeah, I'm not a part of that. And specifically in the subtitle translation, it says something to the effect of, you're the most promising and the most mysterious person in Kivotos. Hoshino, you're the most mysterious person. In the game, it says, you're the most promising mystic in Kivotos. So it's specifying mystic, and which I'm assuming they're talking about the attribute type in the game itself. Every character has some sort of attribute type, piercing, heavy. I think they're mentioning this idea that she's mystic. I don't know. I'm not sure if the elements themselves go into some kind of, maybe the mystics and all that kind of stuff goes into some sort of story meaning or something like that. We'll see. Again, I play the game, but I don't actually follow the story. This is me getting it for the first time. But additionally, he says in the game, the objective is to study, analyze, and understand Hoshino. You're our guinea pig. So they want to figure out her, and that she's the most promising mystic in Kivotos. So there's something specifically about her that they want to find out. So it'll be interesting to see what that all plays into. I think the most interesting thing about the letter itself, this is the thing that piqued my interest, because again, I acknowledge that this world itself is weird. It's interesting, and very little is explained. And again, one of the most ongoing question marks that we have in the series is, what are these girls? What are the girls? Why are they here? Why are they all militarized? Why are they in different schools? Why are they shooting each other and nobody gets hurt? All that stuff is a question mark. And again, I have my weird theories about it, like being, purgatory or something like that, or they're angels or something like that. But Hoshino says something very interesting. She says, if I end up on the other side of the battlefield, destroy my halo. Now again, yeah, throughout the entire series so far, the halos is always a question mark. It's like, what is this? Is this a design choice or whatever, just to make the characters more appealing and unique, and it sells things? But no, it's kind of going into the idea that, yeah, whenever they wake up, their halo kind of forms completely. Whenever they go to sleep, it kind of dissipates, it goes away. And yes, additionally, Hoshino's saying to destroy it. And I can kind of draw the conclusion that these girls are immortal. I mean, that was a question mark. They're shooting each other and they just go, and they fall over. And they never die. Like, they're not getting pierced by this stuff. But they do sort of look like they get injured, but they're never going to die. So the question mark is, does destroying a halo kill them? Is that their weak point? That's the thing that kind of makes me think. If you destroy her halo, does that mean that she dies? Is that what she's implying there? So it kind of is a little kind of, let's just drop this little tidbit of information in there. I'm not sure if it's maybe one of those things where it might not even be canon, it might not be consistent to the story, but it seems to imply that she's wanting for them to finish her off, or at least stop her. Maybe destroying the halo removes their power, their strength, or whatever. Who knows? But again, it was kind of a drop in there, and I'm like, okay, cool, a little bit more insight into the world itself. But yeah, she gave herself up to pay off the debt, most of it. They didn't say all of it. And then yes, that's when Kaiser Corporation, the PMCs show up and they start attacking everything. Everybody has to go out there to stop them. And yes, that's when Kaiser, the director guy, points out that, yeah, the General Student Council is not going to come help you. We own everything. You're not even, you lost your last member of the Student Council of Abydos. You're not even a school anymore. And they're like, no, we have a club. We have the Foreclosure Club. We're good. No, that's not even a real club. So apparently, big reveal here, Ayane seemed to have known this. They were never established as a club. And apparently, they have to establish that with the General Student Council, because they had a student council in Abydos, but the General Student Council has been gone for a while. So there seemed to be implying there that they never established it as an official club, thus the school doesn't have anything. So he's basically coming in to take over. And they can cry all they want to the General Student Council, but they're never going to get help. This is another thing they're kind of pointing out. Every time Abydos has gotten help, it's been from other schools. And they've never gotten help from the General Student Council itself because, yes, we've already established they're all missing. So interesting there. But yeah, Ayane gets very upset, sad, realizes it's all over. We're never going to be able to pay off the debt, all that kind of stuff. And that's when Aru shows up. That was such a good scene. I was massive hype when Aru showed up. I assumed somebody was going to show up. There was a side of me that thought maybe possibly Hina with Gehenna could show up, but it obviously makes sense that the problem solvers show up. They help them, bigger than return that favor. And yes, Aru looks up to them. So she has to criticize them. You guys are like supposed to be super cool, and I looked up to you, and now you guys are giving up on your friend over something so trivial. And then yes, Mutsuki come in and they're picking up Ayane's glasses and putting them on. That was fantastic. Which is funny because I think the game usually has Ayane as a support, is usually a hologram. So it's kind of great to have her actually present there, just because, yes, Mutsuki can put on her glasses and we have Megane Mutsuki for a brief moment. It was super great. I loved it. And then having them all kind of separate and kind of work together. Again, Saruka with Haruka seems fitting because Haruka destroyed her workplace. So there's a little bit of like, let's put that beside us. Have Mutsuki over here with Nonomi. Doesn't want to harm anybody. Don't worry. I got these sticky bombs. It was really cute. And then having the big battle at the very end and taking down the big mecha, which, yes, again, CGI, but it didn't look terrible. It's fine. I think my more issue is not really so much the CGI, which is a given for them to do, unfortunately, these days. But it was more the idea that some of the action scenes, some of the action shots just didn't really feel like it had much life to it. But again, hopefully they're saving it for something else. But yeah, they wrap everything up, and that's when it goes over to Hoshino being taken back into some room with this flaming head guy, and her apologizing for being tricked by adults once again. It seems to establish that, based on her talking in the letter, that she didn't like Sensei at first because he was an adult. And then because Sensei was helping so much and Shiroko trusts him and everything, that's kind of led her to now trust Sensei. And that's why she wanted Sensei to help everybody. At the same time, apologizing once again for being tricked by the adults. She fed into what they wanted, and she got betrayed once again. So, some trust issues there, but yeah, her kind of getting locked up in some room and tied up. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do with her. Is it they're going to look into seeing why she's so great? Could it get more into what makes these girls what they are? Again, are they superhumans or technology or whatever? Could it just be simply they each have some sort of power and they're trying to find out what is powering Hoshino, what secret inlaying power does she have within herself and how they can possibly reproduce it? Or did they just use her as fuel for some sort of machine or something in the future? We'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to how this kind of concludes. The PVs for the next episode already looking great. It looks like they're going to go see Gehenna again, or at least it shows Gehenna. Slight spoilers here. It looks like Sensei is going to be going to talk to somebody very important in the story. And yes, from what everybody's saying, there's a very particular scene about somebody with Iori and Iori extremely flustered. And if that's what that is, I am so ready for it. I cannot wait for that. So I'm already seeing it blow up everywhere on social media. So I can't wait for that whole scene. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 10 of Blue Archive. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what's thought of the episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have Patreon link, tips, links, or thanks for membership button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does. And y'all take care.